Hello and welcome to the Heart of the Matter. I'm Abisoye.
And I'm Adeolu, and we have with us Glory.
Glory the poet. Thank you
right.
so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, I mean, it's in your name, so let's start there.
Okay.
Glory the poet. So you do spoken word. Tell me how you got into that, really.
I've always been a poet. I won the first Save Water, Save the Future when I was in school, secondary school, Zamfara State, FGGC Gusau. So I won I had to write a poem and then do like a drawing to explain how you save water and save the future. So then it was just like, okay, I was just writing. So when I got out of school, that was like 2008. So I was like, okay, what will I do? So I started like looking for something to help myself, like small hustle. So and then I worked in a media organization then as a cleaner. So somebody was like, there's this place that poets gather. You can actually go there and just like start doing your poems. So I was like, okay, which name will you now bear? Somebody was like, okay, why not take Glory the poet since you're a poet?
Okay.
And the person is actually like the popular comedian Yo. So I'm like, hey, why not take? So I'm like, okay. So from there, I just talk to Glory the poet when I'm on stage.
Okay. So we're going to delve in there, like different parts there. Like you wanted to give us like the story,
The whole
like
story.
abbreviated, but we're going to like delve in really slowly.
Okay.
So poetry. Now, you got into it, you say you've always been into it when you were younger.
Yeah.
How did you first decide that you enjoyed poetry? Was it from when you started trying to write, or did you hear somebody? Have you always liked reading or hearing other people's poetry?
I think I've always been a very reserved person. And when I'm sad, the only way to tell you I'm sad or you hurt me is by writing. So like, if I can remember, I would write in like 4 lines, like, dear friend, like what you did to me. So, and then like in school, maybe like end of the year party, it's like, okay, who's going to come and recite a poem? Can you come? And they call me to come and like, okay, come and represent the class. So it was just like an unconscious effort. Like I was actually a poet, but I never knew I was, not until when I started growing. I was like, okay, it's actually poetry. So like it was not defined, but I have always been a writer from the times of primary school up until secondary school and till date.
See.
Yeah, that's good. How did you feel that talent was encouraged, or what did you aspire to be when you?
With the poetry?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I've always, Ted, I've always like, okay, I want to be like the girl that came from nothing to something, and I just want to achieve that through poetry. And I want to be like the best poet in Nigeria. So that's just like my drive every day. I say, okay, Glory, what have you written today? Just try and write something better than the way you're writing, because you are going to be somebody's idol, you're going to be somebody's role model. So that just keeps me going, like, okay, let me just be doing my poetry. So at first it started like talent, but now it's now growing into something bigger and global. Yeah.
So can I ask, you said that you want your poetry, like by being Nigeria's best poet, you want to be able to inspire people.
Yes.
And so what would you say you want somebody to feel when they, one, read your poetry, and then also how you'd want to impact the people that you're impacting, what you'd want them to take away or say that they know they learned from you?
From what I know about poetry and literature, it's actually art. So when you are reading my work or when I'm like performing and you're listening, I just want you to take a message. If I'm talking about forgiveness, if I'm talking about smile, I want you to smile, and this is why I want you to smile. I want you to be happy, this is why I want you to be happy. I wrote a poem, the period a lot of people were jumping into the Third Mainland Bridge. I was telling them, why are you depressed? We are all running this rat race together. So why would you want to take your life? It's actually not worth it. So why not, like, let's just keep, believing in something. At the end of the day, we'll all be happy. So, like, when you're listening to me, I have a particular message. I'm not saying everything at the same time. There's actually, like, okay, this particular thing, even if your family is so poor, you can still be something. Even if the whole world is coming down on you, you can still be something if you want to. So I just have a particular message, and I just put words to drive home the message. Yes.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, you want to give people hope.
Yeah. You're right. I see the passion is there, the message is there, but let's also talk about you and your background and your story.
Great.
Yes, so I know at some point you wanted to be a journalist.
Exactly.
Or you write a lot. Writing has always been your passion.
Yeah.
So I know you briefly touched on that in your experience, it's explanation in the beginning, but from secondary school moving on, what you wanted to be, I'll let you tell your story.
Okay, I've always wanted to be like a newscaster, funny enough, right? So the only way as a when I got out of school, my parents were not like they were so broke and poor, but at that time things were not really going well for them. So I said, okay, why not? Okay, let me just get a job to like sustain myself, like save up some money. When I get to uni, I'll be able to, help myself. So the first job I got was to be a gardener secretary. Strange, right? So it was so challenging, and then my first salary then was like 8,000 after the whole labor. So like 8,000, and then I think at some point I was trying I was learning how to make pave stones. Like the person I was learning from, like, no, you're so young. I'm like, I want to make money, and I don't want to do it the wrong way, right? So I went from that to becoming a teacher's assistant in a school, and then all of a sudden somebody told me about an opening in a media house, and then I was like, okay, come to think of it, the only people that have access to everywhere is you actually have the drivers, the cleaners, and who else again? I think these are for me, the only these people, they know everywhere, they know who is who. So when I was offered the job to be a cleaner, at some point my friends were like, oh, why would you want to be a cleaner? It's so demeaning, da 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 da. What I told myself is, at the end of the day, it's just me. So I cut them off. Yeah. So I took the job as a cleaner. It was really challenging.
First off, you're very, very slow. And it's good, take it slow. But you got a job as a cleaner where?
Okay, I actually got a job in Cool FM as a cleaner. And that time I remember I was the youngest. And this stereotype, like cleaners cannot write their names. And then when they're like, I can write. I said, hi, madam, I can write my name myself. She's like, so what are you doing here? You want to start all these cleaners? I just said, don't worry, everything will be fine. I remember her name, and then she was like, okay, no problem. So she gave me my form to fill. She was actually rude to me. I was like, I don't care. You understand? Because people were like, so why do you want to take the job? Why not go somewhere else? So I remember when I left where I was teaching to work as a cleaner in Cool FM, somebody said to me like, that's where we are working before they increase our salary, because then I was earning like 16,000, and then when Cool FM was offering to pay me like 14,000, I was like, God, 2,000 naira difference. Well, that something just told me, don't worry, just ignore it. So I still took the job. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's important, and I think like I said, it's also important to ask where, because it all keys into the value behind your story and what it is you're trying to do and what it is you want it to be. I always remember the fact that when Jesus came, he came very specifically to die for us. And everything he did was geared towards that. He never went to the left just because people were going to the left. The time that his brother said, if you want to get the biggest crowd to preach to you, go here. And he said no, because he knew his purpose. And so that sacrifice of not just the 2K, but even taking a position that seemed like something that you shouldn't be doing, it was purposed and geared towards what you wanted to be. Let's talk about the next steps. What happened next?
Okay, what happened next was now my relationship with other cleaners, right? So they're like, this one really do like say she's a big book, all this kind of thing, because it's obvious. I was just coming from school, and then I had people that have been working there for like 20-something years, 15 years, and then the first thing I told God was, just give me direction, lead me to the right people. So like what I prayed for actually came through, because a lot of the presenters liked me. Oh my God, she's a young girl, she's a poet, she's this, she's that. You're just like singing my praise. So some of them would say, why not come to the studio? And then some the cleaners would be like, no, don't go to the studio. MD will see you, MD will chase you away, blah, blah, blah. And I've always had this mentality, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So like I always like tell myself positive things and like stock my brain with a lot of positive words and tell myself like, Glory, no matter what, you are here for a reason and you will not end up a cleaner. I remember the drivers coming to me like, I want to date you. And I always tell them like, must clean a friend driver. I don't understand. So that kind of thing. Then I remember one of them telling me, is your type that we end up in church begging God for marriage? I was like, really?
Wow.
It was actually funny. I just told her, I said, well, I don't care what you're saying, but I know I'm going. And then I remember I was working for, because the way we work in Cool FM is you have offices to clean, then you have flats to clean as well. So I had this boss, one of the rooms I clean. I think I remember one particular day, he called me to his room and then he like scattered his money on his dresser and said, you know what, you have to clean this room, it's dirty. And then the clothes I actually washed, he poured them on the sofa and said, you have to iron this clothes, you have to do this, you have to do that. At that point I was like, what's wrong with this guy? So I called someone else. I said, come, let's work together, right? So she came with me and we were working. I was like, why would you bring somebody into my room? And I told her, I said, the reason why I'm calling so that he won't say 1 naira is missing, right? So we cleaned everything. That particular dresser, we didn't touch it. So when he came, he was just upset. He was just looking for ways to maybe have sex with me or something. And I've always told myself something like, I will not bring down myself because of the situation around.
Yeah.
I have this saying that I won't kiss all the allergies in Lekki if I will survive.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was upset, but at that point I told myself, Glory, don't cry. You know what he wants, and he's just acting like he failed, obviously. So, and I remember somebody said, why didn't you report him? So somehow we killed the matter because it was not worth it. I already knew what I wanted to achieve coming there from the first day. So I kind of made my friends around the presenters. The presenters in Cool FM were Zubia and Nigerian Info. They were really sweet. They were really nice. They were always encouraging me. I remember one of them, Mashe, she was always singing my praise. And somehow one of them introduced me to late Mr. George Omagbeni. That was the man that introduced me to a woman called Mrs. Deshola that picked interest and said, okay, why not register for Nigerian Institute of Journalism and I'll pay your school fees. I was like, wow, that was really huge.
See, we're jumping,
Right.
so, but I'm really excited to get in and talk about all of those things. I think it's important. You're getting towards the part of the breakthrough we're trying to talk about. So far, we've heard a lot about the trials that come with it, and it's important that people see that there's light on the tunnel. Before we talk about that, we're going to take a quick break, and make sure you join and stay with us to continue our conversation with Glory the Poet. Thank you.
I could feel myself falling, like saying, bro, you're falling. Wow, you're falling. This guy, you are actually falling down, oh. This stuff that you see on TV is happening to you. God is real.
Who are you?
Why are you black?
Welcome to the heart of the matter.
The whole world was looking for me.
She hugged me. She's like, oh my God, Ines, it's God that brought you back. And I just dropped to the floor.
I'm going to dive right into the heart of the matter.
What are your thoughts on Canada?
My thoughts on Canada?
Yeah.
Real random.
I'm really so excited today.
Just a tad. Very passionate about leveling the playing field.
Listening is not the only aspect of communication.
I believe that the solution is from the bottom up. If you don't talk now, you talk later.
This glory, this glory.
So let's break it down.
Welcome back to the heart of the matter. We're back with Glory the Poet, and we're talking about how you've been a spoken word artist. You've always been a poet, and you got a job at Media House Cool FM. You started off as a cleaner, but you had aspirations to be a journalist and many other things. And you mentioned how someone paid for your education.
Yeah, tuition.
And
Yes.
that's amazing. It's crazy. You're like, you don't have money for this, but you went into it. It's like God just provided someone to bring you out of that. And so, moving on from that, what came next for you?
To add to what you said, like, how would I even say? I've always had this belief, right, that okay, even if I don't have the degree to work in a media house, because I know so many people just secondary school certificate, they just go and learn one thing, maybe camera or something. So even if I don't have this, even if I didn't have the certificate then to become anything in the media house, but at least I'm sure that if I just get myself attached somehow, something will come out. So when the opportunity came to go to NIJ, I was so happy. Like, it actually changed my whole world. The fact that somebody was taking my burden to pay for me, and then a lot of good friends were giving me like, okay, take this one, support yourself, this one. So it was like God actually answering my prayers. And then at that point, I got into a twist where a fixed rather when my colleagues then that were cleaners, they were like, what is she even feeling like? Who does she even think she is? And then like the head of the cleaning department, like, if you want to go to school, go to school. If you want to work, work. So it was really challenging because I was doing part-time and I was actually working. So when at that point I couldn't read for tests. Like by the time because the school was actually in Ikeja and the work is in VI. By the time it's Friday, and it was Friday and Saturdays. So by the time I will leave the office by 2, that's when I'm permitted to leave the office. By the time I leave the office by 2, and then hopefully I'll be getting together like maybe past 4, and then one class is already almost done, and then the teacher will say, wait outside, and then start talking to you the way he or she didn't fit. Start even like recognizing, okay, why is this person coming at this time? So it was really frustrating. There were so many times when I would just like on my way to school to start raining, and I would start crying like, oh God, what kind of life is this? So I got to the point where I like, should I even say I prefer my other struggling life than this one that is actually happening to me right now? So like it was really a struggle. There were times that I won't forget a particular day. I had to buy handouts in school, and then the only money I had with me, I thought it was going to be enough for me. That was the day I knew the power of 10 naira. So at that particular day, I got to Obalindi. I had like I had 100 naira and I had 40 naira. So and the BLT was saying that 150 to go to Aja. I was like, hey God, what do I do? So I remember, okay, there's this particular lady that maybe somehow I bought something from her. So I ran to her like, madam, please, can you just help me when I'm coming back the next week? I'll just, she was like, that I should wait for her to sell everything. I was like, what? Wow. So I was like, God, what do I do? Do I start trekking? What's going to happen? At that point, I gave up. I just started crying in the middle of the road. And then somebody was like, are you not like customer? You bought something for me before. And then the person actually gave me 200 naira. At that point, I was like, God, I'm going to put this money in the offering basket. Because like, I don't know how to really explain to you what happened that day. That was actually my breaking point. I was like, God, I started crying, like, what do I do? Who do I even go to? Because I just had like 100 naira and 20 and 40 naira. And good thing for me, I don't know if BRT was on promo that day. It was like, enter 100 naira. I was like, what? So that was actually like a strong miracle for me. When I got home, I took the money on Sunday. I said, God, I know like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and I know I'm actually working towards where I'm going to be, but please help me never to lack like this again. And I remember crying, and I put the money in the offering basket, and I just left. And to be very honest with you, that was like, I've never had that kind of experience before, not for any reason. Because going to school, I was just earning 14,000, and my school fees then was like 160, and then going to school every day. It was just God that actually helped me to go to school, still work, and still have my responsibility at home, because I was the first child, and I'm still the first child. So like the responsibility was so much, because I don't know this mentality around Igbo men. They don't really want to spend money on their female children because they believe they will go and marry. So, and I refuse to let my background put my back on the ground, no matter what. I kept working, I kept believing, even when it looks like nothing will come out of it. I said, Glory, you will be who God has called you to be. And thank God for my mom. She was really, really, like, she was my backbone. She was my support system. Because I remember then, like, for test, how will I read? When I'm mopping, I won't forget one particular day. I had like test the next day, and then I was told to come and wash toilet with my hands. You know, sometimes you never know how boyish you are until you face certain things, right? So the first thing that hits me, that was my shock then, was like, I should come and use my hands to wash toilet. Why? I don't get when there is a brush, right? So I was like, okay. So they poured the acid because the toilet has to be clean, and then I don't know what happened. So I had to like use this I don't know what to call it, like a brush to wash it, and I don't know where the person that I don't just know what happened, but I just know that that day I had to use like my my hand to use the foam And I was just crying like, God, this cannot be my life. Like, you know, when you are working and you don't really know who to talk to, you can't really tell your mom, this is how I feel, because you make her feel hot. You make her feel like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, can't take care of you. Your friends, those ones that they don't have, they're not saying anything useful. So the only thing you just hold on to is the message you hear in church, or maybe one pastor, or maybe somebody, one mentor somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're just like, God, when will I be free?
Yeah,
That
so
kind of thing.
I've heard so much of your story about your dreams and where you were going, where you wanted to be, and it's like lots of times you're crying. It's like God is coming last minute. I see so much of Joseph's story in that, honestly. Like, he had these dreams that God literally showed him these dreams, and the people around, his brothers, envying him.
True.
Got sold into slavery and then lied against in Potiphar's house.
True.
Again, and then he's thrown into
Very
prison.
true.
It's like, God, I have all these dreams. When am I coming out? So for you, where was that moment where it was like you came out from prison to become, your story is really just starting, but like you becoming the governor of, you know.
Okay, that was 2014. I would never forget. Because there's this program we always do every year. It's called Cool FM Praise Jam, Gospel Praise Jam. So I told you a lot of people, like the presenters, some like reasonable colleagues liked me for who I was then. Regardless of where I was coming from, I'm still a cleaner, and then I still do poetry. So I went to the event. I was like, okay, I want to do my poetry. They were like, are you serious? So I was like, yes. So they said, okay, you are going to be the one that opened the floor. You're the first person. I was like, okay, thank you. So I went, I memorized, I wrote my poem, I was talking to myself. I remember my friend was like, no, go mad for Rodo. Because that was like, wow, like it's going to be in a hotel, everybody will see me. So I was so excited. So when I got on stage, I was like, God, what do I do? Because it was full, like you can't imagine, just overflow. So I performed, and then people clapped, and then I went back. So it was in January 15, the next year, 2015, that the MD actually was looking for me. So when somebody said, MD is looking for you, I was like, yeah, serious, you can't be kidding me. You can't be like, are you serious? Then she said, I'm serious, MD is looking for you. I was like, okay, MD is looking for me. MD of Cool FM is looking for me. You know that kind of feeling, like MD is looking for me. So I'm like, you're joking. She was like, I'm going to slap you. I said, MD is looking for you. So I thought, okay, this is serious. So I was like, hey, what have I done? What did I do? Did I break any? At that point, my head was just going, because they were telling me that MD, you are going to the studio one day, MD will see you. So at that point, I was like, I don't know. Someone was telling me, no, just relax, right? So, and I saw MD, I was like, oh, young lady, you are the one. I was like, I did what? And I said that I'm actually going to change your life. At that point, I was like, okay, that I'm actually taking you from cleaning to the audio production. At that point, I was like, I felt a lot of things. I was like, God, I'm very grateful. Because I remember when I was doing because in NIJ you go for COS. I took my letter to that same department. I was like, I want to intern with you people. And they were like, no, the place is full, that Shadi will not like, that was Boston, won't like anybody. I was like, the place is full. And that is the same place that the MD that owns the company is actually promoting me to. At that point, I was like, this can't be true. Maybe something happened. So I went the next morning, that was 16th. I was waiting for him to park his car. And then I asked him, I said, good morning, sir. Sir, please, what you said yesterday, do you really mean it? He was like, yeah. It was like when he handed me over to his PA, and then everything changed. So I was like, wow, thank God for his faithfulness. So my salary automatically jumped from whatever it was to something better. So I was excited, I was happy. So now the new phase of my life was how to now work with my new colleagues. Because I remember the department I was posted to, I used to clean the department. And everybody saw me as their cleaner. So now how would they now see me as their colleague? It was really challenging. I remember like some of them made me like their house help. They'll tell me to go and pay money to their mom's account. Tell me to go and renew their DSTV subscription. Like, this is VI, this is office, and ShopRite is far away. And you give me money for keke, and you don't feel you can drive to go and renew your own DSTV subscription. It was really crazy. There were so many times I was like, God, where I was coming from is not better than this one. So that kept happening until eventually the department was separated, and then I got into another one. That was where I started learning.
I think it's important because you see, you're giving people perspective.
Sure.
And it's so important that people have that perspective. I always say it's important that you see people who are growing past where you've been, because it gives you hope that where you are is not the end of the line. It's very easy when you're in a certain situation to feel like there are more options.
Yeah.
And so we really appreciate that you're doing that. Another thing that I want to talk about is, you talked about the different things you had to circumvent you as a woman in that space, people expecting things of you, sexual favors, all that kind of thing, and you working past that and saying and being above that, and being better than that, and saying that I'm not going to compromise myself. And now I see that there's a rainbow. So can you please tell me your story?
Okay, that's interesting. You know, like I told the driver, I said, no, before say cleaner must friend driver. Like, even if it's an office, you don't know who is looking at you, right? And there were too many guys that will just come and say, I like you, but you know where the likeness will end. And some people come and say, you are a poet, I have camera, we're going to actually do so many videos, but you know what they want. And then, like, some people just with different stories. So it's actually this young man that we actually work in the same office. We still work together, but with different departments, different blocks. So like, I actually like you. But the thing is that he didn't come as, I like you, let's be friends. We're just like friends. We always go to go for services together. You follow me, I follow you. We're always talking, before you know, it became a relationship. Okay. Relationship, and then it got to marriage. So I think we got married we got married May 11th, because he's actually June 11th and I'm August 11th. So we fixed May 11th, and the time was 11 a.m. So just 11. So that's how it happened.
That is so romantic. I see the romance sweeping into different areas of your life.
Yeah.
But I think that's for me, it's huge, and it's important that people see this, because I will be very honest, your story is incredibly inspiring, because you don't see a lot of people who are willing to suffer through the seasons and to accept lowering yourself in order to upgrade yourself, in order to progress and achieve the things that you want. And so what you've done is very inspiring, and what you're continuing to do is inspiring.
Yeah.
I think that people should know it, and that you should also know that you are actually affecting people's lives. It's very important.
Thank you.
So I guess very briefly, we've talked about your past, present, marriage. Very briefly, what do you think is next for you?
What I think is next for me? For now, I'm involved in a project called Audio Girl Africa. So what we are doing is we are training girls to become sound engineers, because I do post-production and broadcast production as well. So we, like my friends and I, Tolu, Dami, and myself, came together to form a body where we travel from state to state, and now we're looking at going to Ghana soon, just to like make girls feel like, come on, you can do this thing. So instead of sitting at home, like I always tell my my students, I tell them, why not do something that even if you are in labor, you can actually, you can actually make some money, you understand? So that kind of thing, when I say that, people look at me like, even when you're in labor, is this one all right? For example, if you are a sound person, by default you start to get equipment, and by the time you're renting, you're making money. It's your equipment, you're making money in your space, and you're making money renting. If you are trained as a person, as a woman, and then you have values, you would definitely, like your children would definitely have values to offer to other people. So it's actually...
It's great. It's an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing your inspirational story, where you're coming from, and we love to see how you're inspiring other people and what's next for you.
A lot of the time, the mindset is closed off to the opportunities that are available to them, and you teaching people that there are new ways and there are skills you can teach yourself that will give you the ability to make more of yourself and to add value.
Sure.
And that is very important. So thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here on The Heart of the Matter to listen to Glory the Poet's story, which is so inspiring, and hopefully you get to be an inspiration too. Thank you, and God bless.